Right, good morning, everyone. My name is David, and I'm running our penultimate session of Fellowship. Fellowship is a PBTA game by Jacob Randolph about playing a bunch of plucky heroes fighting against the forces of evil. We are playing in a sort of young adult She-Ra avatar style setting with a couple of rules tweaks to reflect that. This game has been organised through the Gauntlet online role-playing community. You can find out more about the Gauntlet and everything we do at gauntlet-rpg.com. But this, as I say, is the I think the ninth session of this game now. So if this is the first one you're seeing, I'd advise going back to the beginning and starting from there. I will firstly, I will ask my players to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their character and what happened to them last time. We do have a one of our players will be turning up partway through, so Dave will be here in a little bit. But yeah, I'll start as ever. Stephen, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character.
Hey there, I'm Steven, he, him, and I am playing Phaethon, also he, him. The exile moon prince. I was formerly being hunted by what's official now?
Oh, sorry, you introduced yourself as Phaethon.
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, we didn't want to interrupt. Sorry, Steven.
Right, sorry. Right, no, sorry. I'm not Phaethon. I'm Ossian. Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking about Phaethon for a second. But yeah, I it's being hunted by my sibling Kalliban for a while. They're pretty much going to betray me right now, so you have that to look forward to. I am now officially team leader, so Phaethon has to listen to me now. Yeah, I am. I mean, I probably wouldn't say daddy. I feel like that has too many connotations wrapped up with it, Jamila.
Good point. Good point.
I will say I'm team dad, though.
Yeah, I keep forgetting how much the extra D adds like a lot to dad.
Yes, indeed. That's certainly an image. But anyway, onto yeah, Jamie, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Oh my gosh, this is my karma. I'm laughing. I was laughing too much in the chat. Yeah, I remember I was thinking. Okay, so yeah, I'm Jamie. They them pronouns. I'm playing Sabila, who also goes by they them pronouns. I went to check just to make sure I didn't say Phaethon too by accident. So Sabila is has recently proved themselves to be a dragon, to be strong enough to take their final form, but whether they can actually sustain that without continually hurting themselves is something we're still going to see. But they got to crush a tower last time, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, but basically that's it.
Awesome, thank you very much. And finally, for the moment, Alex, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Phaethon.
Yeah, I'm Alex, he, him, or they, them. I'm playing actually Phaethon, he, him. Depressed teen wizard. Last we left off, he was fighting the head wizard on top of a castle, which is pretty cool. And he doesn't, he doesn't like to do what he's told to do.
Awesome, thank you very much. So yeah, last time we saw our heroes, they were preparing for an assault on the on the Autumn Palace. I mean, it's also pretty awesome, but they had been up to various tasks to bring about the downfall of the Empress. Sabila had destroyed a giant tower that wards parts of the city and the palace itself. Ossian had been gaining support out amongst the common folk of the city and stoking the fires of rebellion. And Phaethon had confronted the head of the Ordo Noctis. Well, he had gone to the palace to erect a warding barrier to help prevent reinforcements from arriving when they make their final assault, but was in the process confronted by the head of the Ordo Noctis, Gilded Swan. So I think we will I think what I would like to see actually for the first scene, I'd like to see Sabila kind of coming back to their senses after their awesome destruction of the tower, and then maybe meeting up with Ossian as they make their way to the palace to meet up with the others.
I just realized, I know you asked like if we had mechanical questions before the recording.
Oh no, it's okay.
But I realized I just forgot. So technically, Sabila was taken out.
Yep.
Before, like at the end of the session.
That's right.
So they're supposed to when you were taken out, you were no longer able to help out. Is this also like masks where you come back later with one thing unmarked, or does it stay like?
I think because in the end of session stuff, I think you got some healing, so I think you'll be fine basically. Now you'll be brought back to your senses. Well, I say fine. Yeah. I mean,
well, I was wondering if I would get one more thing unmarked, or if it's just those two from the end of session.
That's a good question. I think it would. I think it's just those two that you healed at the end of the session. I think it'll be So yes, fine is possibly be overstating the fact, but you're at least mobile again.
Yeah, I'm alive. It's okay. But so I totally makes sense. Yeah, I think when we last left off, Sabila was with
Amiri.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep. And I think as you kind of come around, Amiri is kind of hovering over you. Not shaking you, because that's not actually a very sensible thing to do, but they are clearly concerned and trying to check that you're okay. Sabila, are you all right? That was wow.
I think for a moment, like, Sabila closes their eyes and looks serious for a second before they break into like an eat shitting grin, and they're like, "Did you see how I crushed that tower?"
Yeah, that was amazing. I've never seen another dragon before. Well, not another kind of does like the big hands thing dragon.
And I say, yeah, that was my first time. Wow, it's a good thing Phaethon was here, because he would feel really bad seeing me be so awesome. But yeah, and I get up, and I think that's when I start wincing, like showing I'm not completely okay, and I'm trying to hide it from them. And I say, but we did what we set out to do. The wards are taken care of, but I should meet up with Ossian again and continue with the plan. But how are you?
Fine. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me safe.
And I grin at her again, and I'm like, actually, I'm really hungry. And I take out my dragon fruit. And I offer her some to share with her.
Yep, she will happily join you in eating some dragon fruit.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm using the dragon fruit. But yeah, it says here extra spicy dried fruits, and I just hastily throw one into my mouth, and it's kind of like anime girl with toasted mouth, as except it's dried dragon fruit.
Awesome. So yeah, you get to you get to heal a point of harm for that. We'll assume that you and Ossian have some prearranged rendezvous point outside the castle.
Yeah, and what's the state of the city like now? Is it in chaos, or is it understated chaos? Or?
I'd say understated chaos. There are it's not like people running out into the street and screaming sort of thing, but the Legion are clearly concerned, and there's lots of troops being moved around to different points to try and work out exactly what's going on, that sort of thing. There are probably there are some people out in the streets starting to particularly sort of coming from the undercity portions are kind of mobilizing. But yeah, like I said, it's not kind of buildings burning and mass panic and stuff at the moment. It's that more tension and waiting for things to happen. But yeah, there's a very, very much that atmosphere of expectation, anticipation in the air.
Right, and so I definitely make my way through. We do the whole Jedi cover with cloak thing as we make our way, and I look out for Ossian.
Yeah, so where are we at now then?
It's probably somewhere just outside the palace. Maybe probably wouldn't be like a derelict building around here, but maybe there's a shrine maybe that's not particularly well traveled, but it's in just a little square on one of the streets off of the main sort of plaza in front of the palace.
Yeah, I like the idea of I like the idea just because we've been seeing a few too many shots of Ossian being serious, that we kind of see Ossian from the warehouse seeing you, and he if he does what we think is going to be a really cool thing of sliding down this rope line to you, and then it breaks halfway through, and this is all from Sabila's perspective. So we kind of see a tiny Ossian fall to the ground, get up, dust himself off, and then walk over.
And there's this awkward moment when I look at over at Amiri, and I look back and I go pretending I didn't see anything. Ossian, how was your part of the mission?
Mission, yes. I let's see, how did my part of the mission go? I did talk to some guards.
Yeah, but you also did your raising people, speaking truth to power.
I've rallied the people to our cause, and it looks like I've managed to get the I had a surprisingly friendly chat with some guards.
Oh, diplomacy. Maybe I should have tried something like that. Well, I took care of the wards, and there's.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I took care of the wards, and there's one less arcane tower.
Yeah, and we just kind of flash back to like smoldering hellfire, and oh,
there's like
okay,
roar, like a Gotcha moment.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, and yeah, I'm so like I'm just kind of because I'm forgetting entirely all the steps of our plan. So I think that yeah, Ossian is well with the shields down, I think it's up to Kalliban to get us in safely.
I like how your face has the but he will betray us look.
Yeah.
But does Ossian look confident about it? Okay.
Yes.
And I'll say yes, I'm still worried about Phaethon, but I'm sure Kalliban's going to see us through.
I hope he's okay.
And then do we cut to Phaethon in this moment?
Just throwing lightning bolts at each other.
Yeah, so I think we see obviously Gilded Swan has been throwing arcane power in Phaethon's direction, but then I think you kind of see him almost he cocks his head almost like he's heard something, and then he kind of makes another mystical gesture with his hands, and a shield starts to form around him, and he says, well, I think that should be enough time bought. Go to your friends now, young wizard. You still have an important part to play this day.
Phaethon is gonna look at Gilded Swan and then sort of look down out over the city.
Big smoldering crater in that one part.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to I'm trying to think how did he get down? I have ley lines, it's fine. It's technically okay, so I can access a sealed location if there's a sealed location nearby where we're going to be meeting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, you can turn up. Yeah, basically. Where...
Yeah.
where you want to. So yeah,
Right.
that's not a problem.
Yeah, he's just gonna fall through the floor, aka the roof of the castle, then, and like, like just land in a heap in front of Sabila and Ossian.
Like a heap, like you look bad kind of heap.
Assuming it's kind of one of those like Paper Mario when he gets knocked over heaps.
I mean, he's 3 damage, looking bad. Like,
that's pretty bad. I
mean, he's 7 stats, but yeah,
that's still pretty bad. But yeah,
it's still pretty bad.
Yeah, I think when that happens, like we were in the middle talking, and then all of a sudden, just abruptly, Phaethon shows up and like.
Yeah, I hope Phaethon's okay.
I think Sabila's going to freak out, and come over. Phaethon, are you all right? You smell burnt.
You smell more burnt.
Oh, you know what? Even though this happened last week, this happened very recently. So my move field treatment does apply here, David, to check?
Yeah, no, absolutely. These essentially, this is like only the next scene after those injuries were incurred.
Actually, no.
So...
If they were hurt in the previous scene, it's too late for you to help. Never mind.
No, okay, no worries. Yeah, so yeah, it has to actually be like in the scene that you're present in. That's fine. No, okay, no worries.
I'm fine. Just had a little tussle with Gilded Swan.
And I think I used up all my bandages on my cat.
Oh no.
Is Shadow okay?
No, like this is a while ago.
Oh wait, but I think it depends on how far a while it was, but I think we might have had a refresh in items since that time, but I'm not sure. I'm also not 100% sure though. Yeah. But yeah, and when you mentioned that, I say, oh, and he's how is he? You left him alive? Not disemboweled?
You think I could kill Gilded Swan? Even if even if I wanted to?
Well, and Sabila kind of like revealed, like, I thought you said you were strong. Like, I thought you could like handle it.
It's Gilded Swan.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm sure any of us would have a hard time defeating him. Yeah, good job, and like I'm like patting you on the shoulder.
Yeah, Ossian joins in, like giving you some head pats.
He just sort of stands there like, why is everybody touching me? I assume everything else is in place.
Yes, the tower is
taken care of.
I noticed.
Yeah. You took out a tower last time, I say. Like...
Yeah, no.
Look, we can discuss our futures as renovators after the battle.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Ossian's turn to take out a tower with the next one. So,
yeah, you want dibs?
There will be plenty more towers tonight, I'm sure.
I feel like it cuts to the same Gauntlet moment, except this time it's the light wolf, like rah. And Sabila's like imagining it. Yeah. But yeah, and Sabila says,
I actually
right.
imagine, like, not even imagining, like you have like a little light wolf puppet that you've been carrying around this entire time, destroying a little like tower figure.
Like, right. So, oh, and then like, but yeah, and then Sabila will put them away and say, oh yeah, so let's focus on Kalliban and continuing the plan. We have to be there to support them when they face down the queen.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that what I will do is go to our old fallback of using a travel montage to kind of cover your your actual like assault on the palace and reaching the reaching the throne room, because I don't want to like kind of pad out getting there. I think that's interesting, but I would also like to give you a chance to like showcase some sort of badass, palace assaulting moments. So yeah, we're I think we all know the drill now, but I'll ask one of you to set the first challenge that you face on sort of entering the palace, and ask somebody to resolve it. We'll keep moving on like that until everyone's had the chance to go to set up something and say how they overcome their own challenge, and we'll. So, does anyone wish to go first and have an idea of the first challenge they'd like to set?
I mean, yeah, I guess I want to say like, like the kind of like, so we're kind of on the, like, just to clarify before I throw this out here, just now to frame it, like, where are we in like relation to the castle? Are like we still like on the outskirts, or like we right outside their fort at this point?
Yeah, this will be kind of actually entering the palace itself. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, or I mean, in terms of like where you want to, if you want to like pick up the challenge like
Okay.
already inside, then that's cool. You don't like, we don't have to kind of do it systematically, as it were. But yeah.
In that case,
Yeah, I have.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I have an idea. Unless you want to do something, Phaethon.
I have an idea that could work for sort of like the challenge of like getting into the palace, and past like the guards outside the barrier.
Cool. I think I have something that might even work just before that, if you want me to throw it
sure.
out. Yeah, I think that the palace is surrounded by the moat of consuming night, a rift of concentrated unlight. How does Sabila get us past this?
Ooh, so it's like the absence of light, like the
Yeah.
Cool. Wow, I like that. Yeah, I feel like once we get in, like the color kind of leaches and sound kind of is muffled a bit. I think Sabila is going to turn to everyone and smile, and it's that kind of thing where you can tell they're like bruised and stuff around the fang and grin, and they reach out a hand, and from it the moonlight that they've learned from Ossian, that is further strengthened by their dragon lineage, it like comes out almost like fireflies for a moment, just surrounding everyone, but they start to form constellations until it creates this path that we can clearly follow throughout.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I should explicitly point out. Obviously, this does also include Caliban in the group view for this purpose. But yeah, do carry on. That was just my I wanted to make sure that was
Cool. Yeah. Phaethon, what evidence do you come across that your doom is coming closer? And how do you hide it from the rest of us?
I think that's a good question.
I just want to give you a chance to foreshadow.
Yeah, I know, right? I think he's seeing like the occasional omen, like a raven falling out of the sky, sort of thing. And also like he feels sort of it feels like his power is starting to like simmer and boil, and I think he alternates between like staying really quiet and like being way more talkative than usual, to just because like he's not even like he doesn't know how to cope or deal.
I think when that happens, Sabila will notice and sort of like cock an eyebrow. Phaethon, you've been very... Are you all right?
Are any of us?
Well, but
I thought not.
that's just a lot of words coming from you, in very high tones. I'm just surprised.
I'm just glad to see you both.
I lean over to Ossian. There's really something wrong if he's glad to see us.
I nod. Solemnly.
We have to keep an eye on him. Next thing, he'll be grateful.
Okay, Ossian. What sort of last minute defense has the castle arranged just outside the barrier that we weren't anticipating, and how do the citizens you rallied come to our aid?
I think that like as we are like, because now we're like actually in the palace grounds proper. I think that like we kind of, there's some like blaring klaxons and like the movement of like the not like the intercity rail, but like the intra-city rails, like trying to shift like the troops throughout the city back to the central area. And I think that we kind of like see like some blasts as like the rail lines get taken out by citizens, and the and like the troops are unable to like mobilize in the city against us.
awesome. And Caliban, how do we see Kalliban preparing for the confrontation that's about to come?
I thought we left Caliban with the Emperors last time.
That's correct. Yep.
I think Caliban is probably going to be Calibanish, and he's going to deliver a biting monologue to his mother, and then do something despicable and violent.
Awesome. So, and I think for my scene, we'll actually have a cut to we'll have a cut to the words, a place that we will vaguely recognize as the head of the Ordo Noctis. I had a name written down for it somewhere, but I cannot locate the bit of paper immediately, so I will come back to it. But it is a oh no, wait, here we go. That is just the High Court. Is all I've referred to it as. So yeah, it's but we see Gilded Swan just appear in a shimmer of light, and he actually just appears like behind a big lectern with a huge tome upon it. There, arrayed in front of him are rows and rows of fellow members of the Ordo Noctis, all in their dark robes and various metallic masks. The book has already been opened to a particular page, and he glances down at it, though he clearly doesn't need to actually read the words from the page. And he says, and soon things are in motion. The royal family shall consume itself, and the Slayer shall destroy the last descendant of the moon. And finally, it will be our time to reshape the world. There's a sort of muted cheering from the Ordo Noctis. They're not given to like big loud displays, but there's that kind of murmuring of appreciation and anticipation. Cool. So I think what I will do is we'll start framing up the scene in the throne room, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back into that. Well, I will ask Kalliban if you would like to describe the scene that the others are presented with as they enter the throne room.
The throne room itself is vast and high, very tall. There is a literal river of moonlight that glitters through the center of the floor that falls down from the throne. when they get in, I suppose Caliban and the Empress are already in a heated debate. Ready, and Caliban is I suppose glittering with darkness. The reflection in the moonlight is that of a young man, but the form is that of the dark, shadowy form of Caliban. And yeah, he's gonna. He looks like he is ready to strike, whilst the Queen herself is also glittering with moonlight magic, ready to strike back.
Yeah, the Queen is the Empress is a tall, imposing woman. She is dressed in a long, flowing gown that is a very deep blue, with flecks of diamond threaded through it, that glistens like the night sky. She is wearing her crown, which is a silver band with a moonstone set in sort of the over the forehead, and she is wielding a sword and shield, very much in the sort of in the sort of Roman style, a kind of quite short but deadly looking blade, and a large round shield. But again, both of these are formed from moonlight rather than from steel. She has a not impassive expression, but she is clearly mastering her emotions. She is in an easy and practiced stance. And you can see her kind of her eyes flicker for a moment to see the others come in the door, but they don't leave the threat in front of her. And she says, well, my two boys together again at last. This foolishness must end. I cannot let you sully the throne that is ours by right. And I think that's where we'll take a quick break. So I will pause. So welcome back, everyone. And I think actually I'll just do the briefly break out into mechanics before we head back into play. So the Empress is a threat to the world. So this basically means that in order to take an action targeting the Empress, you need to pay a price to do so. This is waived, obviously, if you have any move that specifically says so, or in the event that you are also a threat to the world, then you do not have to pay a price in order to engage her. So that's kind of just a general thing that will be going on. She has a particular power of her own, which you can use a weakness that you have against her in order to block, if you so do that. And finally, her stats are I've got them in front of me. Cool. The stats that she has access to are arrogant, counterspell, and spell sword. And those are her three stats. That's kind of the mechanical setup for this. Yeah, we will go back into the scene. So as I say, she's sort of stood there. I'm going to. I think yeah. What I'll do, I'll give the three of you who have just arrived a moment to describe your entrance into the throne room, and sort of how you're looking, what your plan is, and then we'll flick back to Kalliban to see and begin our confrontation. So what does it look like when the three of you enter the throne room? I'm gonna call on Phaethon first this time, I think.
Like, what do we look like, or?
Or any combination, of if you want to like take out some guards, something on the way, and that's cool.
Yeah, I think there's like a shot of the closed door, like big double doors to the throne room, as seen from inside the throne room, and you just hear like a thud, and then another thud, and then just a bunch of thuds, and then the doors slowly open, with the three of us standing there, and there's just like piles of unconscious guards. I think Phaethon specifically is he's kind of settled down and now is just looking kind of like grim and scared.
The last 5 were just running, Phaethon.
Awesome.
To get reinforcements.
And Sabila,
they were running and crying
for reinforcements.
It's okay. If Phaethon is a little scared, we're here to protect him, so it'll be okay, Ossian, I say. But I'm obviously, like, Sabila's obviously joking and teasing, like trying to get a rise out of Phaethon and seeing if Phaethon is going to accept the bait or not.
I think, like, the way you can know something's seriously wrong is he just kind of doesn't even, like, he just kind of stares ahead and doesn't appear to have, like, registered what you said.
Ossian, this is really, really bad. He's not even arguing with me anymore. And I think, but Sabila is going to look at the queen and push their shoulders back. And I think what we really see is Sabila is that Sabila is obviously very concerned for Kalliban, like just looking straight at them. And you can see that the fire comes up in their fist for a moment, but they force it back down to wait things out and see how it goes.
Awesome, thank you. And Ossian, how does Ossian react to the scene before him?
I mean, I do think I draw my blade, which is still, like, considering how much everyone else has at the moment, like it's pretty unimpressive compared to like Phaethon's and Sabila's like default weapons, because it is as the exile I don't really have fancy weaponry. My
Sure.
body is my weapon.
Awesome. Yeah, and Kalliban.
So, I think Caliban looks into the eyes of the Empress. What sort of creature? And he points to Ossian. Would ask her son to undergo this transformation. I am your creature, mother. When I gave up my dreams, and he stares at Ossian, to fuel your ambitions, you created me. But I took the oath, and I am the Moon Knight of the Empire, and every weed in this Empire's garden I will pluck. And it starts with you. He puts his hand on his sword. My friend Sabila sees hope and redemption in me. And I hate you most of all for making me let her down. But my brother will be free of you. And he strikes at her with his own sword.
Sure thing. I think that this I think that as you come towards her, she raises the shield and to deflect your blade, as she also sweeps out with the with the tip of her sword. So she has the when you engage her up close, you must pay a price to do so. That's one of her moves. So I think in this case it is just going to be marking a harm. You can obviously, if you wish to, roll to
So
what's the word? Deflect it. I forget the name of the move off the top of my head.
Caliban's a threat to the world as well, so he doesn't need to pay a price to engage.
No, so this is a specific move on top of that she has. That's one of her NPC moves.
But she in that case she's breached my code of honor, so I'm going to cut them and turn their move back on them. So the sword goes through Kalliban, and the wound she inflicts on him is instead inflicted on her.
Yep, sure thing. I think actually I am going to mark that move that she has, which is her spell sword move as you've got her engaged now. She cannot easily react to with as much efficiency as she otherwise would have done.
So I think I frame that as they clash swords until their swords are pinned, and then Kalliban moves forward and puts his hands round her throat and is literally throttling at her, full of fury and anger.
Yeah. Excellent. So and I think that the shield drops out of her hand at that point, and as it falls, it almost like melts into the liquid moonlight that's flowing in this river, and pulls into it. But then a tendril of moonlight snakes out of this river and dashes out. It is going out to entangle Sabila and obviously restrain and grip her. What do you do? Either Sabila or if someone else wants to leap in on this.
I wouldn't. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't mind leaping in. What is that? Probably an overcome, or
it would be an overcome if you just want to kind of stop it, basically.
Yeah, and I think I'm definitely slashing into it as well, trying not to let it get a hold of Sabila. So I think we both have bonds on each other, right? So
yeah,
cool.
You'd roll with hope.
Again, you will have to pay a price to engage with this Phaethon if you are taking.
I am a threat to the world. Also,
you are a threat to the world, so you do not need to. Yeah, cool.
I took that advance.
Awesome.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So I think what it looks like is basically Phaethon manifests like a tendril of like a similarly shaped tendril of shadow to attempt to like grab it.
Awesome. So if you would like to roll, that's blood, I believe, for overcome, and obviously you're rolling with hope.
Yeah, that's an 8. I am glad I rolled with hope for that.
Perfect.
Oh wait, no. My blood is damaged. It cancels out.
No worries. If you want to re-roll, then
yeah,
we'll.
Well, that's a 9.
Cool. Yeah, there. It was obviously meant to be. So, So I've forgotten to open up my quick cheat sheet. That will be 1 second while I check on the. There we go. Yes. So on with an overcome on, so you disrupt the tendril.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I should say you can either pay a price and like disrupt it entirely, or you can kind of actively. Basically, you can either completely disrupt it if you pay a price and go up to the 10+. If you roll, if you take the 7 to 9 option, you'll essentially be occupied in essentially like a grappling match between the two of you.
That second option is cool, but also no, I think I'm just gonna take harm.
Yep, sure thing.
Do I get to choose the price? I forget.
I think you get to choose the price. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So yes, actually that's true. I could have offered, but Dave used the move thing anyway, so that's fine. Yes. So it can be taking damage, losing or using equipment, or suffering some setback, or losing an advantage that you have.
It's just gonna physically drain him.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Sabila, you've been spared from being dragged into whatever the Queen had in mind for you. What do you do?
I think Sabila will swoon a little bit at Phaethon, like coming in all cool. And then, gosh, because Sabila like knows how it's important for Kalliban to do this, but also they want to support Kalliban. I think I'm going to try to study. My gosh, I'm not good at this. The situation. What's it called again? Look closely.
Look closely. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Do I even have sense? Let me just double check. No, it's still marked. So
you can still roll it, but you would roll with disadvantage. But
Okay.
yeah, if you want to choose something else to do, that's fine.
I think I'm gonna just go with my. I'm just gonna go with my gut. I'm going to. This is a really bad idea mechanically, but I'm going to call out to my mother to try to ask for advice on a stat that is -1 and on despair. I'm just gonna point that out, but I feel like it's appropriate for now. So that means it's actually speak softly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll. Oh my gosh, where did I put the roller? Did I close? Wait, let me just get to the tab real quick. Open it up again, I mean. Okay, so roll with 3 and then take the lowest, right? Okay. 4, 5, 6. Man, I would have hit it. It's a 6, unfortunately.
Sure thing. So.
Oh, I get to ask. Oh, wait.
No,
I'm looking at the wrong
you
one.
still get to ask 3 questions. However, I can either, yeah, one of them can be false, and one of them will be either unhelpful or reveal a terrible truth.
Wow, that's like a lot. Okay, so I like how you can still get questions though in the move. That's cool. I forgot that. Yeah, so I think what it looks like is it's like very much Atlantis, Disney. Like there's this moment where the hair falls open and the river of moonlight shines, and in that there's a reflection of Sabila's mother as they reach out and say, please, I need to know how I can help Kalliban. And specifically the questions are, I think what does the queen want? And like what are they like I'm slightly tweaking it, like what do they expect from Kalliban and Ossian? And the next question is what is she doing and what does she plan on doing next? And what should I be wary of when dealing with her?
Sure thing. So, yes. So, I think. Sorry, the first question again, reminding me, that was you were asking
Sure.
what
does she want?
What does she want? Yeah, that's
yeah. And how does she expect Ossian and Kalliban to help her?
So she your mother says the traitor empress wants to destroy all of the rest of our kind, and she will, and she wishes her children to serve as her executioners and her lapdogs, her hunters, to carry on their tainted bloodline. her line destroyed the best of us. They consume our power to fuel their to power their greed. She will take you and the other hatchling. She will destroy you for her own gain. She will use the power she reaps from you to conquer the whole of this world and ensure there is not a single place that we can be safe. You should be wary of her honeyed tongue while she lives. This world will never be free. You must destroy her, child.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what Sabila doesn't want to hear. Like, that's really good though. But yeah, I think Sabila is going to, as they're listening, I think it's going to be just for the sake of clarity for the story, like Phaethon and Ossian overhears the conversation, like, because they're close enough anyway, and they were helping Sabila. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm still going to be if this was like an inner conflict moment, this would be it. Like, but yeah, that's it for me now.
Sure thing. Ossian, how do you react to Kalliban seizing the Empress?
I think Stephen is probably okay with all this happening, but Ossian probably is way too optimistic about terrible people for this. Yeah, I think that Ossian like holds out the hand that's not holding the sword, and I shout like, "Wait, Kalliban, however whatever darkness lurks within her did not begin with her and won't end with her if you kill her now. We need to end this cycle of bloody recriminations if we are going to have any hope of a future once all this is over." And I know I'm saying this to Kalliban, but I'm kind of feeling like, can I like try to finish her with wisdom?
Yeah, I think that seems fair. If that works for you, Dave, I think that seems like an appropriate way. And I think that the current situation does give you advantage. She is not going anywhere. Or well, neither of them are going anywhere, and at the moment they're locked into a vicious thing. So yes, I think that makes sense. If you would like to roll that again, you are a threat to the world. Is that correct?
I am not. I am the one. I know it's easy to forget since I do transform into a giant light
Yeah.
wolf, but even giant light wolf me is not a threat to the world.
Sure thing. So yeah, if you would like to pay the price to do
I'm
so.
just an adorable puppy in that form compared to the rest of the group. Yeah. So right, I have to pay a cost first, right?
That's correct. Yep. So that will be, as I say, you can just take harm. You can lose or use equipment or suffer some form of setback.
I'll straight up lose the sword. I think that like I kind of toss it down and it gets like wrapped up in these kind of weird tendrils of the Empress.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
Let me.
Yeah, I think, like I said, yeah, it grabs like just a much smaller tendril, just like snakes out of the river of moonlight, and just grabs the sword and sucks it down underneath.
Yeah. So yeah, and let me go over. I forgot to open the ruler, but I have the link right here. So yeah. So you said I'm rolling with advantage?
Yes, you'll always roll with wisdom with advantage, and you're not suffering any. If you're not suffering any.
Oh, do we always roll wisdom with advantage?
To finish with wisdom,
right.
Yep. That's
okay,
correct.
Right. Oh, right. Okay.
Unless obviously you also have also with hope, I should say, unless you also have despair. But yeah,
It's a good thing I rolled with hope. So yeah, that is a 10.
A 10. Okay. So, I think that so yeah, I'll ask Caliban first how these words hit him.
I think I've got to roll the bad guy on this to see if he's going to listen or turn. So can I have a link to the dice roller?
Oh yeah, sure thing.
I feel like this would be the point in like the show where my boyfriend would just be groaning, like, "No, she's terrible."
Just
kill her already.
What am I rolling it with? Because I rolled a 6.
With wisdom.
6. So that is I have a wisdom stat, thankfully. So that is 7. So I think Caliban's fingers tighten for a moment, and he's looking at Ossian. Says, "Why? Give me one reason at all that I should spare her life."
Oh, that's a question Steven can't answer, but what would Ossian say? I'm not asking you to spare her life for her sake, Caliban. I'm asking you to spare her life for yours.
I think Caliban's fingers sort of come off her neck, and he pulls the crown off her head and looks down at her. He holds the crown out towards Ossian.
And I think as the crown comes off of her head, you almost see her like sag for a moment, and perhaps all this is for the best. I always thought Ossian would make a fine emperor. Maybe my time here is done. And she will kind of look back to the two of you and say, though you know the prices our family has had to pay over the centuries, over the millennia, we are all that holds this place back from chaos and anarchy. But maybe we do need change. Maybe fresh blood will rejuvenate our rule. And I think she just turns her back and just stares at the empty throne.
Oh man, I think that Ossian looks down at the crown, and there's kind of like a silent like cross of him holding, like kind of side view of him holding the crown, and I think he says, no, I don't think that this world needs its emperors anymore. All they have done is lead us not to order, but to a kind of suffering disguised as progress. And I take the crown in my two hands and I snap it in half. And I kind of hold out one half to you, Sabila. Sabila, I want you to take this with you to the dragons and let them know that we no longer want to rule this land by ourselves and ourselves alone, but instead in an alliance of peoples.
I think Sabila will take the crown with a shaking hand, but they can't take their eyes off the queen because they keep thinking about what their mother said. And Ossian, can we really trust her?
I don't know if we can trust her, but we need to show people that we are not her, that we are not just going to continue on the path that my family has led this world for so long.
We do need a new path, and Ossian, if anyone can figure it out, it's you.
I think Kalliban looks, they're having this moment, has looked.
Yeah, I know. I kind of threw a wrench in your plans here.
Oh no, but he looks and sighs, And he goes and whispers to himself, "Then as always, I will bring the strength where you fail, brother," and walks the steps up and sits in the throne. And I think a new crown grows out of shadow on their head.
And at this moment, Phaethon, I'd like you to make me an overcome roll, please, as you. Well, I'll if you'd like to make the roll, and I'll describe exactly how it comes out as a result.
All right, that's +0 with despair, so this is gonna go great. That is a 2.
Perfect. Right. So, as sort of the crown is broken, you feel the shift, the flow of the moonlight rivers starts to like. It kind of starts to break up and bubble and it starts to feel weird in general. You can feel a palpable energy coming from the from sort of over there, essentially from somewhere behind you. We know and can see as viewers that it's this stone that was present in last session that kind of contains the remnants of the spirit of the moon, and it starts to pulse quicker and quicker, and you can like feel it like like your head is in a vice, basically, and the power. You suddenly feel you are like physically tugged to the ground as you feel all of the ley lines running through this place, almost like pulled tight as they start to just suck this energy from this place. However, as it does so, and as you can feel just this like sudden like dispersal of the magic from the area, you can also feel this power being channeled like through you, almost like a conduit, and you begin to lose control of you can feel this power building up in you, and you cannot control it, and it is going to you know that this energy, you just get a sudden like glimpse, and you know that this energy is going to arc out from you and hit Sabila.
I think I would like to use so like is this sort of thing where like if I got them far enough away from me it would not hit them, or is it like attracted to them specifically?
Yeah, so a bit of both, but yeah, it's still it's not like a homing thing per se. You could you could do something to kind of separate them from the immediate blast.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got wizardry. I got like remote pushing and walls of force and stuff, and I think I feel like I can combine various effects to basically just knock Sabila across the room to the other side. It's not like pretty, because this is all happening so fast. Yeah, basically. It'll just look like I shot a giant like force blast at you and just boom.
Yeah. But yeah, you knock Sabila aside as this like surge of moonlight just like surges out of you and like fires up into the air and before dissipating. It leaves you feeling drained and generally awful. But I would like you to make your the prophecies roll.
Yeah. But the prophecy, when you act against the prophecies, roll plus courage. Hoo boy. Luckily that stat isn't damaged, at least. Oh, that's an 11.
Nice. Okay.
13 actually.
Brilliant.
With adding the courage modifier.
Okay, so no need to mark damage, Sabila, sorry. Yeah. You vent this blast of energy into the air, and as you do so, you realize that you have averted your fate. Sabila should have died here, her essence consumed in this blast of moonlight. Had Sabila's power been consumed in this explosion, it would have fed Gilded Swan untold power. He would have had it would have made him nigh unto a god. But thankfully, that will not come to pass. And yes, that element of your of the prophecy is has been averted. Of course, he has still become significantly more powerful as you again. You can just you can intuit from the way that the magic flowed out of here that this has gone to. This has been absorbed, certainly by the Ordo Noctis in general, but probably Gilded Swan in specific.
Nice. And I would like to add sort of like I think basically like at the moment of like the acting against the prophecy, just to add a little bit more drama. Like you get sort of the vision of like flash forward effect of the or like the oracle move, the see the future thing, but it's just an image of Sabila's smiling face.
Nice. Okay, I think actually I'm going to call a quick break now. If we come back on the hour, and we'll see where we go. We take things from there. If people want to give a thought about what they'd like to do next. Cool. So yeah, we we'll just get back into it. So on a brief recap, I think we have Kalliban sat on the throne, Ossian just sort of down at the foot of it. The rivers of moonlight are becoming disrupted and acting strangely. The atmosphere of the room has changed, certainly. We have Phaethon probably looking a bit dazed and confused following the arcane eruption, and Sabila has just been unceremoniously knocked across the room. So Sabila, I think we'll start up with Ian. How do you react to this?
Yeah, I think poor Sabila is going through a lot today. I think Sabila is going to just slowly get up and turn around and just look at Phaethon wordlessly, like just waiting for him to say something.
Phaethon was like, exhausted, and like he's like, on hands and knees like after that, and he looks up and says, "Sorry about that."
Did she make you do that?
She's irrelevant. And I think he starts to like get to his feet, kind of unsteady. I need to go. I need to go kick Gilded Swan's butt.
I'll go then. I say, and I take the crown, and the wings sprout out as I start to leave, confused.
Will you help me?
Me?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you need my help?
I could use pretty much everybody's help, frankly. Kalliban, I know you're doing whatever the heck this is, but can't swear on a children's show. Whatever the heck this is, but
whatever the snarf this is.
Yeah, whatever the snarf this is, but I know you want to kick Gilded Swan's butt almost as much as I do, so can we? I'm tired of facing these things alone. So can we do this together?
I come up to you. I still don't know what happened, but and I take your hand. You don't have to be alone, Phaethon.
Yep, I'm going to take your other hand.
Aw, real moments. Like we're all waiting on Kalliban, like we're just kind of looking at Kalliban, like
magically generate a third hand.
Kalliban is sitting on the throne, pondering. I told you when we came back here that we will remove the Emperors and deal with Gilded Swan. I do not break my word. Let's kick the living snarf out of that mother snarfer.
Yeah, thank you. Also, okay, yeah, long story short, the Gilded Swan absorbed all the moon power, and I was a conduit, and he was going to try to absorb your power, which would kill you. So I did that. And now he's probably super strong. And I'm really, really sleepy.
Well, you can nap later, but don't worry. Together we're stronger than he is.
Yeah. I think we just might be.
Well, you weren't there when I destroyed the tower, so I'm just gonna say.
I was watching.
Oh, so you saw it.
I mean, I was busy at the time, but I had an ion in my periphery.
Fine. Let's see what happens.
It was very cool.
Wasn't it? Like, Sabila starts grinning again.
And Phaethon is also grinning. It's just like, yeah, just thinking about like, wow, maybe we don't live in a completely deterministic universe after all.
I mean, do you say that out loud, like that part, or?
Oh no, that's in his head. Sorry.
Okay,
yes.
okay, got it. No worries.
All right, let's. What Kalliban said. And I'll just out of character, I'll just use my last ley line to like open up a portal to wherever he is, if that is doable. I know that ley lines were like disrupted.
Yeah, so I think you can definitely open a portal to near the where the High Court is. You can't sort of teleport into it directly.
Yeah.
You will. I mean, yes. I think that you will be aware that they do have some like warding magics on it, which if you're a kind of a member of the order in good standing, you can teleport through them fine. But obviously, because
I'm not in great standing.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They've essentially changed the locks on you. So yeah, you will be able to like get to the immediate environs of the place, but like not into the inner sanctum sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, the well, I suppose I should ask. Like I said, obviously, the portaling thing will work. Do people? Is there anything people want to do here before you kind of head off, or are people okay sort of jumping onto journeying to the to the Ordo Noctis?
I mean, I feel like we should do something just because I feel like we're probably going to want to, like, we're probably going to want to call an end to the session after the journeying or shortly after.
Yeah.
So, like, if there's some kind of, and we do have a bit of time but I can't really think of a scene myself.
Hey, if everyone is cool with Kalliban declaring themselves emperor and taking the throne.
Well, okay, I didn't know like how like official you just like going like, hey, let me just sit in this throne and I'm emperor now. What actually was.
Phaethon's position is very much like, not cool with this, but we'll deal with that later.
Yeah, because like I didn't actually think that you were that like I didn't know how like magical of a throne that was.
I'm fictionally positioning that he is sat upon the throne and taken on that role in the same way that he did when he took the Moon Prince role on. So I think he is definitely proclaiming himself emperor.
Oh. And like I want to say that I say something, but I also feel like there's not really, I'm not really sure what I could do here as Ossian that wouldn't really like derail everything and make this into like a PvP match between me and Caliban.
Yeah, that's tough, honestly.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
I basically I'm like Ossian and Kalliban basically staring daggers at each other. Ossian like trying to figure out what to say at this betrayal, and then Phaethon and or Sabila basically stepping in, like, common enemy over there. We really should do that first. Let's table this.
That's a good point. I'm totally cool with Sabila being kind of like not realizing how serious the situation is, and then just sort of saying, yeah, we can figure this stuff out like later. Kalliban, come on, get off the throne, let's go. Like, just, you know, downplaying it and not realizing that there's some sort of like the way that humans act about crowns and stuff.
Yeah, Phaethon totally realizes how serious it is, but he is still downplaying it. Like, yeah, I know this is bad, but more pressing matters.
I guess
after.
I guess, yeah, afterwards, I guess Ossian is gonna have to make good on his like destroy a tower for the for the group.
Does the Ordo Noctis have a tower? The High Court
No, I'm thinking of like I'm counting the whole palace as a one big tower.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. So, in which case, I think you will find yourself. You will appear in. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that instead. I didn't want to go back to mountains, but so yeah, I think you appear in. You do appear like in a cave, and the and there is that kind of little bit of like sparking and smell of ozone as you've obviously like come up against some form of magical barrier. But you are you said you're in this small cave, and there's some light spilling in through the entrance. And as you poke your head out, it's the air is very dry, and it's not like super hot, but it's definitely warm here. And you're in a desolate area that is mostly like that kind of fine grey black sand. There are sort of those like there are some like mesas around that are in that similar kind of quite dark stone. And you can see even from here, perched in the center of this, of these like maces and stuff, is a tall, quite spiky, quite, lots of spires, lots of promontories, and again carved out of sort of like proper like polished basalt at this point, dark and with a slight sheen to it. There is the High Court of the Ordo Noctis. It's in, as I say, it's in a particularly desolate area that means they get few visitors outside of those who can say teleport in here, and it's the sort of wind is like whipping up light sprays of this sort of like almost like ashy sand around. It's quiet. There doesn't seem to be there aren't like people out in this. There's even few sounds of animals around here. The whole place has a kind of odd, lifeless feel to it. Though Phaethon, you can definitely feel like this. There is that you can feel that like staticky feeling in the air that there is like more power here than even normally. So yeah, what's your approach going to be?
Okay, so I didn't plan any further ahead than this.
What?
I mean, it's over there.
Well, and I think this is when we really show Sabila's like grown up, because they're like, you don't have a plan? You should have some sort of plan.
It's been like 5 minutes since I decided since we decided to come here.
Well,
how fast do you expect me to come up with a plan? I'm tired.
I think Sabila starts petting Phaethon without thinking about it, like this pet. I promise we can take that nap right after. Okay.
There's like literally a dog boy in the group, but Phaethon's the one that gets all the pets.
But isn't Phaethon like a cat?
Like, he well, which is to say, like, he doesn't always appreciate the pets. Yeah, he is the cat for sure. I know, I'm a cat boy.
Yeah, this is the part of the cartoon where the cat ears come like tuk 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 with that sound effect.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I turned to Ossian and actually, like for a moment I look at Kalliban and then look back at Ossian and start to realize, maybe there was something going on back in that throne room. So Ossian, do you have a plan, or should we just wing it?
Yeah, so I'm just confused. I thought we were gonna go into a traveling move here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Are we doing that?
Yeah, I was confused by the wording of the like, what's your approach? But
oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I was more just wondering, yeah, if you had like any thoughts on how you were going to sort of go about doing it. But yeah, no, we can just go straight into the traveling move if people want. Yeah.
I mean, we basically seize the city, right? Probably we can requisition some of these imperial vehicles at this point.
Well, how far away is the High Court?
Because you said like a blasted wasteland, so it sounded like it wasn't in the city.
No, that's right. Yep. So yeah, no, I mean it's not far to get there from where you are. But yeah, it is obviously perilous terrain, as there are both environmental obstacles potentially, as well as if the even if the what you do know, obviously, Phaethon, is even if Gilded Swan wasn't expecting you to follow, he will have been aware, or the Order will have been aware of your when you teleported in. That will have sort of pinged their security measures, essentially.
And I think he'll be basically said, like, well, there's no way we're going to catch him off guard, so might as well just barge in.
There is always a way to catch someone off guard.
You're not that experienced dealing with the Order. I'm sorry, that was rude.
I'm just imagining that, like, that the end to that sentence that Kalliban does not state when their entrails are coming out.
Awesome. So
Kalliban dons a cunning disguise. Nice. Signature move.
What's your disguise?
I mean, that could work, actually.
Probably not, though.
I think he looks like a member of the Order. All of a sudden, he said like a woof, and he's in his cunning disguise and says, "I am prepared. I have researched the Order well."
He could just bring us in like we're prisoners.
Sure.
And I can look dying, deadish. Didn't they need me deadish, like, or something?
I'm not. I think if you were, Gilded Swan knows you're not dead because he's more powerful, but not as powerful as he could be.
Well,
He knows something happened.
maybe we could trick him into thinking you gained the power instead. Wasn't he using you as a vessel?
I guess. I'll be honest, guys. I'm not trying to be a bummer here, but his whole thing is sort of that he always knows what's going on.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, though. Yeah, he is a prophecy dude.
And like, we put a wrench in that, I guess. But
Don't worry. My whole thing is never being seen until I am ready to strike. Trust me. Smile.
All right. So as good as any other approach.
Awesome. So yeah, I think what we'll do then is we'll kind of resolve. So I think what I would like to see here is basically getting to the castle. Maybe sort of just like breaching the castle. We'll do that, like I said, using the travel montage thing again. Something that works quite nicely. So again, we'll see what challenges you face, which, like I said, can be some environmental stuff. You're in a kind of desolate, possibly magically hostile environment. There's also, like I said, you can have some patrols of Ordo Noctis members and things like that as to give an idea of potential threats, what's sort of likely to be around. what we'll do is, we'll get up to the castle, and I think we'll probably leave things there for for today. And then next week, what I'll probably do is run the actual the invasion of the castle and the confrontation with Gilded Swan as a set piece, because we haven't done one of those yet. So I think that will be quite a nice way of handling some of the weirdness of essentially invading a wizard's tower. Cool. So with that said, we will go back to our old standard thing. So does anyone have an idea of the first challenge they would like to set somebody?
I have something if nobody else has anything pressing. Okay, so I think like a sandstorm, or I guess ash storm, kicks up not too long after we start making our way to the court. And it gets, like, visibility gets really bad. We know the direction we're going, so that's, like, probably okay. But Kalliban, what do you briefly hallucinate seeing, like, in the distance in the midst of this ash storm?
Was that to me?
Kalliban.
Oh, okay.
I think for a moment in the storm, Caliban sees the person they used to be, looking back at the storm at them. And he sort of says to himself, he says, I don't think there's a way back to you. And carries on into the ash storm. I think I'd like to ask the question of Sabila is how is she reflecting upon, I suppose, the murderous words of her mother, and then actually not going through with it?
I think what Sabila is disturbed by is they find themselves planning how they're going to take care of things if things don't go well. Like, they're not trying to do it, but in their mind they're thinking, if it doesn't work out, then I'll have to destroy her this way or that way, or like it just starts coming unbidden, and Sabila is trying to force the thoughts back down. And I think what I want to ask Ossian, when you look at all of us, your disaster family, who are you most concerned about? And what do you think, like, how do you feel you have to take personal responsibility for them?
Oh, I mean, that's clearly Kalliban at this point. He is, I mean, he's really all of our disaster child at this point. He's the group's disaster child. They are, sorry, they. Yep, gonna have to make certain they don't, become the Dark Lord. That would be nice if we could find a way of getting around that.
Awesome.
Has everyone done one now? I've lost track.
Oh, right. I forgot that I'm supposed to then turn it over. Because I don't think Phaethon has, yeah.
Yes, no, that's right. So yeah, Phaethon's asked but not answered. Yeah, so that was I'd lost track as well. I was thinking, oh, has everyone done one?
So, like, and this is just the setup for this just to clarify my setup for this question. Like, because with the last scene, we did sort of establish that Fate's gone off the tracks a little bit, right? Just to clarify for myself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What future does Phaethon see in the shifting sands that is no longer to be?
I think he I think he sees what future that is no longer to be.
Yeah, because just given like the fact that like we changed the course of fate in that last scene.
I think he sees like he looks at the high court towards the high court, and briefly he sees the capital, but it's still surrounded by that same desolate wasteland. And there's some sort of like Calamity Ganon sort of thing, like dark mass swirling around the palace. And then he blinks, and it's gets sand in his eyes. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you all. So for my little scene, actually, I have one question. Phaethon, what is the who was the one teacher that you had sort of in the Ordo Noctis who you actually quite liked and who seemed to sort of take the look out for you in general?
Crescent Flamingo. I think she was considered she was like basically an adjunct. She was had difficulty sort of becoming a higher ranking, more respected member of the order because some of her theories about the nature of prophecy and fate were deemed radical and borderline heretical. I think she's the one who first planted the seed of an idea in Phaethon's head that like not everything is actually set in stone. And just because you predict a future doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. And which I think in turn, like, basically ended up helping convince him to just run away from his destiny.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, we see a scene where there's obviously several members of the Ordo Noctis. Crescent Flamingo is amongst them, and of course Gilded Swan, and he takes the the giant tome from the lectern and casts it down to the floor. There is a very loud crash as it hits the floor, as it's big and heavy. And he says there is no further need for this tome, at which point Crescent Flamingo speaks up and says, but Gilded Swan, we have devoted our life to these prophecies. Are you telling me now, after all we've been through, that that you will abandon our ways so easily? And he kind of steps up to her and does the kind of hand under the chin thing and says, "You should not question me, Crescent Flamingo. You have always been trouble, and I shall brook no further interference from you." And he just sort of pushes her back and says, "No. There will still be a place for us. We will see the future unfold, because the future will be what I make it. I am fate now." Yeah. And that, I think, is where we'll leave things for today. I'm just going to so there's one thing. We'll also just get a very, very brief cutaway shot to back to the capital. We're in that coffee shop we have visited several times now, and there's general celebratory type murmurings amongst the patrons, calling out about obviously the changes that are going to come, and then the now that the people have taken to the streets. And we cut away to one of the corner booths in the place, and they're sat in the corner in sort of a beret and sort of dark round glasses, sipping on a milkshake, is the Empress. Cool. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been a great session. I'm just going to stop our recording now.